Hi everyone, this is a collective tarot reading for the full moon in Aquarius that will be taking place on August 1st. If you want to see more peace, love, health, and wealth in the world, this reading is for you and for us collectively. We're going to take a look at, how we can best build this kind of world together during the period in the wake of the full moon. And I'm going to do a 7-card horseshoe spread, and as always I have some oracle cards to the side, which you are free to choose which one, two or all three resonate with you the most. We will do that after the tarot reading. So in the past we have the devil. Okay, we're coming out with a bang. The present is the 10 of Wands reversed, oddly encouraging. Known factors is the 2 of Coins. Us collectively are Judgment. Very interesting. Unknown factors, 2 of Swords. Okay. Advice, High Priestess reversed. And potential outcomes, we have the 3 of Swords reversed. And at the bottom of the deck, binding all this together, we have the 5 of Swords reversed. Possibly explaining a lot of what we see in this reading. So I'm going to stare at these cards for a moment and I'll see you right now. I'm going to pull a clarifier on the High Priestess reverse, but before I do, I have plenty to talk about with this spread as is. I just wanted to call the shot in advance. So first of all, I want to pat myself on the back and saying, for those of you who've watched a couple of these videos, this layout was perfect. You'll notice that the 3 of Swords is the only card that I moved a little when I paused. But coming back to the actual reading, the gist of this is this is a blatant, clear indication to move past the enemy adversarial mentality because and it's funny too because I thought this phrase towards the end just before unpausing, but the devil is in the past. And when we keep lingering on the past, especially when it's a painful past, a tricky past, a past where we felt bound, imprisoned, all that shit, it can make the present feel needlessly heavy. And the thing is, and I think this is the reason why we're being invited, despite the wake-up call here. I think what we're being invited to wake up to collectively is the fact that people who were our enemies before might not necessarily be this today. And I'm wording it that way because based off of this 5 of Swords reverse here at the bottom of the deck, more on this later, it feels like a decent proportion of people watching this still think in those terms, and you gotta snap the fuck out of it because it's making the road ahead more difficult to travel than is required, and you're making it harder on yourself, needlessly so. Yeah, honestly, I don't want to bore you with an anecdote, but I had something. A friend of mine told me something earlier today, which made me realize like how this adversarial enemy mentality is way more pervasive than I would like, and I think that we can use the month of August, or at least the next couple weeks following the full moon, as an opportunity to reevaluate that. I don't want to go into too much detail as to what's going on in the sky clock while the full moon is exact, but let's just say that the time for reflection and review is pretty good right now. And I think that if we try to move forward towards the world that we want to build without doing an audit of how much resentment we might still be carrying, how much bitterness, and how many people that are actually in a position to join our cause and to help march towards this utopia that we want to build, are actually, that you're seeing them that you've written them off, basically. This is a theme that has come up many times during these readings, but it's very resounding now. And I want to elaborate on the 5 of Swords reversed here. The funny thing about this card right here, it flipped out while I was getting the deck ready to do this reading. It flipped out in reverse. I flipped this card upright before putting it back in the deck, and here it is at the bottom of the deck, reversed again. So whatever conflict, bitter conflict, is permeating this energy. And I think that the key to this is the High Priestess reversed here, which can be interpreted in all sorts of ways, which is why I knew that I was going to pull a clarifier for it, which I will do right now. Let's do it. And our clarifier for the High Priestess is the Wheel of Fortune. Hello, hello, knock, knock. I'm knocking on the phone here. Like, things change. And the struggle that I'm dealing with right now is to try to get through to someone who thinks that adversarial imagery is still necessary. Try to acknowledge when the tide has shifted, when the tide is shifting, and when there is uncertainty, when there is change, when the wheel keeps turning, that opens up possibilities for review. And I think that the reason why you might have such difficulty intuitively figuring out what the next move is, kind of leading to the indecision here, is the fact that the terrain has changed and you're not even open to the possibility that it has. So yeah, honestly, this Three of Swords here, whatever it's saying to the bulk of this reading is so minor that I'm barely going to acknowledge it at all. Honestly, this could be potential heartbreak if we move forward without getting rid of this shit, without unloading some of this shit, without leaving this devil in the past where it belongs, where it is. Or it could be, you know, coming to terms. Sometimes when you reevaluate situations, not all changes are good. Now, the fact that this Wheel of Fortune is upright kind of gives the impression that they might be as a whole. But sometimes when we are doing this audit that we're being invited to do, we can find things that disappoint us. And the grieving process for that might be one of the things that's indicated by this Three of Swords here. But I would say the MVP of this whole reading is the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, binding this whole reading together. I just told you the story of what happened in the moments before it ended up at the bottom of the deck here. It's kind of wild. And I think that the sooner we wake up to the fact that we need to stop fucking chasing windmills, all right? I'll put it that way. As a matter of fact, Stop Chasing Windmills summarizes the vibe of this whole reading so concisely that I'm honestly tempted to leave it at that. So please do an audit. Please remember that we have to figure out how to live together, all right? We have to figure out how to live together. And I'm going to end the tarot portion on that note. If you chose the Wisdom of the Oracle card, your card is Co-Create. Hello, hello. You want to create with people. You need to think of it in terms of what do we want to build together? What do we want to create together? As opposed to thinking of it in terms of how can I prove them wrong? Or how can I prove that I'm right, you know? I have the feeling that a bunch of people that this reading is meant for and that might be resonating, even if that resonance is manifesting as resistance, that you often think in terms of proving to people, which is why I'm saying proving like that. That's deliberate. Anyway, next card, Moonology Manifestation. Your card is New Moon in Aries. Go for it. Go for it. That message is so wide open that it's hard to plug into this. What I would say is go forth into this new world. Go forth. move on from these two cards here, leave them in the past, really take that plunge, and, you know, be aggressive in your, be aggressive in how quickly you turn the page, at least for this next couple weeks, you know? Yeah. The people choosing this card, I suspect, have felt a lot of resistance hearing me say this reading, and you might be invited to re-examine that and evaluate why. Sacred Geometry card, your card is Consciousness. Very nice. Let me just zoom in, focus on this. And the text under it reads, "The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality." I'm trying to find the non-obvious way. You know what? I'll start with the obvious way. The obvious way is to find out how some of these devil people can actually help in marching towards the kind of world that we want to build together, and figuring out how to integrate them, figuring out how we can co-create together. Yeah. Now I'm going to pause for a second to try to think of a non-obvious way to plug this in, because I'm really intrigued by this. Nah, I couldn't find much beyond what I just said. I will say it's important to pay attention to the entire field. By that, it's important to think at the level of strategy in order to take as much as you can in without neglecting the concrete down-to-earth tactics. So try to find the balance between that. But regardless of anything, I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give this video a like. It really does help me out. But I hope y'all have a great full moon in Aquarius. Take care. I'll see you soon.